Now that the body's had time to dry, we could move on to the last of the bodywork. This video may be boring to some because a lot of it is just me masking. And it is a lot of masking. And I've said it before and I will say it a lot. Masking is something you want to take your time on and make sure you do it right. Because it is a lot easier to lift a piece of tape and reposition it than it is to repaint a car. And as you can see here, you can reposition the tape a little bit before you burnish it down. And right about here I realized that the front black strip thing, whatever this is, it's narrower on the front of the car than it is on the sides. This is a Q-tip I cut down at an angle. It just helps get down in all the crevices and burnish the tape. And do not forget those door jambs. And this is why I always save all them serrated bits from the edge of the tape. They can so easily fill little bitty tiny gaps like this. My whole mat is covered with them because I never clean it off, and I use them probably more than I use regular tape. I will jump in here and say that I've seen a lot of modelers paint the inletted section there in front of the rear suspension silver. That is what the instructions call for, and I've seen a lot of reference photos and I have not seen that. And I don't know if the photos I've seen are just of worn out cars that have been beaten to death on the road and are just covered in grime. I haven't seen any of them silver, so I'm painting mine black, because that's all I've ever seen. I covered the entire car with masking tape because I have had issues with overspray, and I didn't want to deal with that. The front lip gets painted a different color, that's why it was masked off separately. To save tape, I just wrapped the majority of it in just a plastic grocery bag. The headlight buckets and all the trim pieces were painted with a flat black. The front lip and the bottom of the chassis were painted with a semi-gloss black. I don't know if it's the artificial light I use, but they look exactly the same to me. If you can tell a difference between those two, I will give you $1. To contour this photo etch grill, I'm just wrapping just the corners over an Excedrin bottle. Or ibuprofen. I don't remember what that was. For the taillights, I'm using my old tried and true method of using a Sharpie. Now, I will add the color only to the backs of the pieces. That way you can still see the shiny gloss through the front and it looks convincing. For the red brake lights, the entire lens gets color added to it. For the turn indicators, the centers remain white or clear just to simulate the backup lights. I will also go around the edges with the flat part of the Sharpie. In my experience, if you use the pointy tip, it's more than likely that you'll slide off and you'll mark up something you don't want marked. In a car renowned for its advanced composite material, they use carbon fiber, Kevlar, anything that was state of the art at the time. Except for these inner fenders. These were plastic on the real car. I guess they thought that they'd see a lot of road abuse and that they would have to replace them at some time. So being cheaper plastic, it just made sense to them. Moving on to the front, we got the fog lights and the turn indicators. I am covering the backs of both with a Molotov chrome pin just to simulate the reflector that you'd see inside the lens. After they're installed, I'll go over just the outside turn indicators with an orange Sharpie. Before I glue the covers on, I'm gonna knock all the dust and debris out of there because I don't want that to be trapped in there forever. I realize I'm a bit out of frame here. All I'm doing is just putting a dab of that UV glue in all four corners. I'll wipe away any of that UV resin that gushed out when you push that in, because once you hit it with the light, it will be there forever. I haven't done any testing personally, but I'm curious exactly how long I need to hold this slide on for that to cure. And those fingerprints have been bugging me this entire build. I don't like fingerprints. With that lens being locked in place, that is another video complete. I once again want to thank you for watching.